Every new Printify seller makes these same mistakes. Number one is expecting customers to fall out of the sky and land in your lap after creating your store and products. Much to my chagrin, this never actually happens, and instead you need to take it upon yourself to engage in marketing, advertising, and selling efforts to actually drive those customer sales on your store. If I build it, they will come. No, they fucking won't, idiot. Especially when there's 1,000 other stores to choose from. What makes you think that customers are just going to magically land on your particular e-commerce store? Number two is only trying out the 1 or 2 marketing strategies that you happen to be comfortable and familiar with. Typically what you'll see is a new print-on-demand seller will try to run some Google advertisements, maybe some Facebook or Instagram ads. They don't make any sales, the ad campaigns aren't profitable, and then they're just like, now what the fuck am I gonna do? The simple fact of the matter is that for most businesses, most marketing channels will not work for them. Certainly not at a level that's profitable. The simplest and smartest possible thing you could do is test out as many different marketing strategies as you can think of, run a large number of marketing experiments as quickly and effectively as you possibly can, measure the results, see what generates the best ROI, quadruple down on what's working, and stop doing anything that isn't working. It sounds incredibly simple, but it's remarkable how few people actually do this. Instead, there are so many new Printify sellers that run some ad campaigns, they don't get immediate results, and then they quit and throw in the towel. What are these different marketing strategies you speak of? You might be asking yourself. You could test out different social media platforms, you could try posting stuff on Pinterest, you could try doing Instagram, you could try doing images, you could try Reels, you could try TikTok. It's really going to vary based on the particular products you're selling, where your target market hangs out, what works best for them. And the simple, honest reality is there's no clear-cut way that I can just tell you do this or do that. What you have to do is just test a bunch of shit and just find out what works best for you. Don't limit yourself to just the 1 or 2 marketing strategies that pop into your mind at first or that seem easiest. Test out a bunch of different shit, and if you're lucky, you'll have 1 or 2 channels that work, and then you can just go crazy on that and just stop doing anything else. Number 3 is spending way too much time diddling around on your website, tinkering with your listings. Instead, what you should be doing is once you've built a store and a solid product lineup, you should be focusing 90% of your time, effort, and energy on marketing and selling your products. That is quite literally how the money gets made, and if you're just diddling around with pixels and elements on your site, tinkering with your logo, changing your font colors, none of this stuff is doing anything to generate sales. Number 4 is not doing some simple math before getting started about what it would actually take to generate profits. This often happens at several levels. Number 1, sometimes people just pick a terrible product to sell where there's just really not much room to make money. If you're selling something like phone cases or mouse pads or another low-cost product like stickers or whatever it happens to be, there's just not a whole lot of room left over for you to make money here. Factoring in the cost of producing and shipping the product to customers, if you're lucky, you might make like $5 or $10 per unit sold. Some simple math at the outset could have told you there's just no way to build a profitable business around selling such a low-cost, low-profit product. Instead, you should focus on selling products that you can charge a higher dollar amount for, you can make much more profit per sale, and there's a greater probability of repeat sales and multiple sales per transaction. If you're just selling a phone case, I mean, it's an item that a person buys once, they only buy one of it, and they use it for like 5 years. If it's a mouse pad, who the fuck do you know that has 10 different mouse pads? Another way you can run this analysis is by simply asking yourself, how many units do I need to sell per transaction? What do I need to price at? How much can I afford to spend per sale to acquire that customer? If you just sit down and do some simple math at the outset, whether it relates to the cost of advertising clicks, or maybe you're paying a freelancer to produce social media content for you, oftentimes some simple fucking math can show you that there's just not going to be an ROI on that strategy. Let's say you're running a Google Ads campaign where maybe you're paying 50 cents per click and you're selling a coffee mug. Your conversion rate would need to set some sort of Guinness Book World Record for that to be remotely profitable. So a lot of marketing strategies that people just impulsively jump into and start trying, just some simple fucking back of the envelope math calculations could have shown you that there's no way you're going to make money doing that. So just why even bother wasting your time on that? Instead, just take some time, run the numbers, do the math, and come up with some strategies that do seem like they have a chance of being profitable and cost effective. Number 5 is trying to generate sales on a store that has a pathetically small number of products. Whether out of laziness or ignorance, a lot of people will just create a print-on-demand store with a couple shitty products on it, and then they're just like, why am I not generating sales? Guaranteed, if you come to the Printify or print-on-demand subreddit, just find some recent posts where people are saying, rate my store. Guaranteed what you'll find is the majority of them just have a couple shitty products on there. Let's run the experiment. Let's test it out. Here's this person here asking for some advice. They're saying, I've been working on my POD store for a month and a half, but have not made a sale yet. Blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at their website. Vintage cat design. So cool. At least they've selected an actual, like, niche and target market to focus on. Let's take a look at how many products they're selling here. That's it. That's their full fucking catalog. Oh my God, why am I not generating sales? What is this, like 20 fucking products total? It's 3 products per row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 3 is 27. 28 products, and a lot of them are like the same design, just reused, or a very similar design. What if I don't like this particular style of cat artwork? There's not a very wide selection for me to choose from here. It's all like the same sort of watercolor image style. Maybe this one's a little different. This person also apparently has no fucking clue what they're selling. Are you a sticker store? Are you selling canvas totes? Are you selling these weird, uncomfortable looking sweaters? Are we selling hats? Are we selling hoodies? I mean, this person needs to make their fucking mind up already. I mean, really, if you want to go this route and, you know, I want to focus on vintage cat designs. Okay, number one, I would question like how much actual search volume is there for this particular style of product? Like, I know it's a good idea to focus on a niche, but you don't want to go so specific that there's like 4 Google searches per year for something like this. Honestly, if it was me doing this, I would pick one particular product. If I'm going to sell t-shirts, make it a fucking t-shirt store. If it's going to be focused on cats, I would just do a bunch of different fucking cat artwork. Bunch of different styles. People can find whatever tickles their fancy. You know, I would just make it the go-to shop for cat t-shirts. Some of them are funny, some of them are realistic, some of them are watercolor, some of them are abstract, some of them are steampunk. You get the idea. It would be the fucking cat t-shirt emporium. I see this so often. People, they make a little store, they put some shitty little products on it, they're in a rush to make money, they think it's just a fast, quick, easy process, you know, make a couple shitty little products, run some ads to it. Why am I not generating sales? There's just not that much to choose from on here. If I want a t-shirt featuring cats, how many options do I have on your store? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Like, what is the possibility if I'm looking for cat artwork that your 6 watercolor designs happen to be what I'm going for? 6 options to choose from. You also need to keep in mind this has a real impact for search engine rankings and just general performance of your advertisements. Because one of the key things that Google looks at when they're thinking about how to rank your page is what is the customer experience like on your website? If somebody clicks on your link, lands on your website, and they hit backspace after 5 seconds, Google says, cool, people come to your site, they say this fucking sucks balls, and then they leave. If, on the other hand, they're on your site for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, browsing a wide selection, looking at different pages, looking at different categories, checking out the products, the longer the session time on your website, all other things being equal, the higher your site is going to rank on the search engine. Same with pay-per-click advertisements. Again, if you're running a pay-per-click advertising campaign, if people click on your advertisement, land on your website, and bounce after 5 seconds, cool, Google is going to be like, this website sucks balls, and you're just going to have to pay more to get those clicks. This has a marketing impact, but more importantly, it has a conversion rate impact. Because if I have 6 measly t-shirts to choose from, the probability that one of these 6 is exactly what I'm looking for is just incredibly low. I'm here on Redbubble. We're going to type cat t-shirt. If I landed on here, dude, I'm gonna find what the fuck I'm looking for. It doesn't matter what your style is. You know, there's funny designs here. I mean, every conceivable artwork style you can imagine, you'll be able to find it on here. If you're looking for something that has a message or some sort of text on it, something that's a little funny or wacky, something that's a little more plain, you can find any style of artwork on this website. Now, am I saying you need to be as competitive as Redbubble and have, you know, 60,000 listings on your store? I mean, obviously, you know, we need to be reasonable here about what's realistic. But the point is, if I land on a site like this, there is a much higher probability that I'm going to find something that I like, something that aligns with the artwork style or images that I'm going for. It's just a much higher probability that a site that has more products on it is going to generate a sale. Also keep in mind, each of these individual products here has its own standalone landing page. So if somebody is searching the internet for a t-shirt featuring an artwork image of a cat astronaut, each individual product page is going to have its own landing page. It's going to show up separately in the search engines. So again, the more products you have, the higher the probability that you're going to generate those sales. It's just more opportunities for customers to trickle in, get exposed to your products, search for keywords that your product page happens to rank for and contain. Looking at a website like this, where they just have 6 measly t-shirts, there's just absolutely no comparison to a site that has hundreds and hundreds of relevant products. The average order value is going to be higher because instead of just finding 1, I might find 5 cat t-shirts that I like. I'm more likely to come back again because the selection is solid. So if you're going to go this route, if you're going to pick a particular type of product and style of artwork to sell, it's one of the major mistakes that new Printify sellers make is they underestimate the sheer number of designs and products you need to have on your store to generate sales, to keep the customer on site, and to prevent people from coming here saying, what the fuck is this shit? And then just bouncing because you're only selling 6 measly t-shirts. This is another one I found here in the Printify subreddit. It's an Etsy store focused on Dachshund owners. How many products do they have? 35 apparently. some coffee mugs, a couple little artwork pieces, and some t-shirts. I mean, these aren't bad artwork pieces. Like, some of these are pretty fucking good, actually. Like, this one's pretty dope. I think these are great. But again, if you only have a small number of products to choose from, even if I am a Dashund owner, you know, what's the probability that like your 12 designs here are going to compel me to take my wallet out, you know? It's some decent stuff on here, but if you're going to go this route, like, you got to go big, especially with AI image generation tools and just the sheer volume of products you can pump out. Like, if I was going to go this route and I'm going to focus on Dashund owners and you know, I want to create artwork for them, dude, you could just spend an afternoon on Midjourney and you could create hundreds of relevant artwork products that are solid, different artwork styles, super realistic. There's just not really a good reason to limit yourself to such a small number of products. Number 6 is wasting hours of time manually creating your products one by one inside of the Printify interface, instead of automating this process using the bulk POD product creator. You know, this tip and the previous one sort of go hand in hand here, because if you're coming into Printify and you're making your products manually one at a time, you know, you have to come to the catalog page, you have to find the particular product you're creating, you have to come in here, you have to start designing, you have to upload your images, you have to select the variants, you have to go to the next page, you got to come up with the title, you got to use all the appropriate keywords and different terms and descriptors that people are going to be searching so that your product will rank for those searches. It's probably going to take you like a solid 20 to 30 minutes per created product. You can instead use this automation tool to generate dozens or even hundreds of products in bulk with just a few simple button clicks. This tool automates the entire process. All you have to do is select your image files that you want to create the products for, specify what product you want to make more of, then just set up your rules for the titles, descriptions, and tags, click create my products, and this tool will completely automate the creation of all your required products. No clicking around and typing and wasting hours selecting variants and describing your artwork images. Quite literally, you can come here, you can select hundreds of images at a time, say, I want to make more of these products, please. The tool will use AI image recognition to generate titles, descriptions, and tags that are accurate and contain the appropriate keyword terms so that you don't have to waste your time racking your brain, describing the mountains, describing the reflection, including all the appropriate descriptors about the mood and the artwork style, and doing that boring work for dozens or even hundreds of products. Instead, this tool uses AI to generate all that stuff for you, completely automated, 100% on autopilot. And all that time that you freed up, instead of diddling around and selecting variants and typing descriptions, instead you can focus all that time and effort on marketing your products and focusing on the projects that will actually make you money. Number 7 is focusing too much on the first sale instead of playing the long game and focusing on repeat sales and the lifetime value of the customer. This is sort of why it's important to make sure you're selecting an appropriate product to sell. If you pick a shitty product like phone cases or mouse pads, where it's more of a one-time purchase commodity item, I mean, how often are people buying phone cases? I don't know about you, I tend to buy a phone case, put it on my phone, and I'm good for the next 5 years or so. Instead, if you're selling something like t-shirts or artwork products or whatever it happens to be, if it's something that people tend to buy a large number of these products, you might only sell a couple items to them for the first transaction. But if you get them on your email marketing list, send them promotional emails and coupon codes and stuff like that, let them know when new products are added to your store, then instead of focusing on just making one-off sales and individual sales, you can instead play the longer game where you're selling a large number of products to these people over time. If you're selling more items to the same people, you're just going to make more money from each customer. And something else to keep in mind is if they're on your email marketing list, you don't need to keep spending money to sell to these people. You know, if you're just running pay-per-click advertisements, this is something where for each click, you're going to have to pay money for it. But if it's traffic that you own and control, it doesn't cost anything aside from the time to type the email and send it out. And you can send an email blast to dozens, hundreds of customers with no associated dollar cost. A lot of companies actually lose money on the first sale, but it's the repeat sales on the back end through email marketing and return visits to your website. That's where a lot of companies make their real money from. So I would make sure to place way more of an emphasis on building up your email list, continuing to expand your product catalog, you know, give customers a reason to return to your website to check for new products, and make sure you're selling the type of product where people are likely to buy more of them. Then instead of stressing about how you're going to make this first canvas wall art sale profitable, you know, it's sale number 2 and sale number 3 where you can make the real money from. Hope you found this helpful. Make sure to drop a like if you did. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Thank you guys for watching and see you later.